Welcome back to Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments. We have the Half Moon Walk, which I believe to be our last case in this game.
Where are you going, Holmes? Have you been invited somewhere?
We have been invited, Watson.
We have? Where to?
To the Baker Street Irregulars' annual dinner. They sent us an invitation. It is on the table.
A dinner? How could those street urchins afford anything like that? I can't understand your interest in them, Holmes. They're dirty. They wouldn't hesitate to steal your wallet.
Watson, you should be excited. It is a secret dinner. Its location changes every year. Read the menu. Sounds mouth-watering.
All right. We, the secret police of Baker Street, invite you, Sherlock Holmes, and Dr. Watson to our annual dinner. Menu, entree, frozen rat head salad. Is this a joke?
Not at all. Pray continue.
Main course, sow's udder in Danny Nutcracker's way. Sounds disgusting, Holmes. Hedgehog goulash. Street turnips in homemade juice. And it goes on.
I can hear them on the stairs now.
Oh, we can't go there. We can't eat that.
Watson, you'll hurt the feelings of those poor children. We have to go.
Oh, Mr. Holmes.
It is fine, Mrs. Hudson.
Mr. Holmes!
Wiggins, Dr. Watson is getting ready. He will be delighted to join us. You don't look well, my young man. Is there something wrong? Don't tell me the dinner is cancelled.
Mr. Holmes is my brother Leighton. He's in a prison cell. They say he's killed 2 men. You have to help us, Mr. Holmes, 'cause I know he didn't do it.
Where is he now?
From what I've heard, they took him to the yard, and they gave him a good beating already. You know what they're like. They'll hang him. They won't look any further.
Holmes, we have to help him.
Well, and forget about the dinner. Wiggins, I'll take the case.
You're fantastic, Mr. Holmes. I'll be waiting for you at the crime scene. You'll be there, right? It's on Half Moon Street in Whitechapel.
Very well.
Okay, well first let's see. We kept the deadly plant. That's cool. Okay. Now we will go to Half Moon Street. Okay, here we are again in Whitechapel. We'll do the first-person view in honor of Jack the Ripper. We got a guy here with a fabulous hat. Beep beep. Okay. Half Moon Street. I cannot see a thing. Oh, there we go. What we got back here? Nothing.
Please, gentlemen, leave the scene now. Oh, Mr. Holmes, is that you?
Good evening, Constable...
Constable Marrow. I was here with Inspector Aberline during the Ripper case, Mr. Holmes, back in '88. But then this is nothing like that case. With this one, we've got the murderer, the weapon, and the statements, which speak for themselves.
Of course, Marrow. But you know that appearances can sometimes be deceiving.
Okay, victims.
Who were the victims?
The 2 men here, both shot. The stab fellow was Brian Vercotti, a well-known ruffian. The other, Kenneth Butler, a jeweller by trade.
You were shot by a street urchin?
You spoke of statements. You have witnesses?
Well, I was there, so I gave my own statement. And then there were 2 other witnesses who said they saw the killer Chapman. Mr. Turner, a gentleman who lives in that flat over there. And Polly Powell, a flower seller, who was over at the far side of the street.
So, Constable Marrow, I should be delighted to hear your testimony.
I was standing at the north side of Half Moon Street. That was the side that you came from.
But you would have been unable to observe this part of the street, where we are standing now.
That is correct. But I saw the two victims slowly enter Half Moon Street, and then shortly after, the fireworks started. A few minutes after that, the fellow chapman rushed towards me and ran into Half Moon Street.
Please continue.
I didn't pay attention, but suddenly I heard a woman's cries and police whistles on the other side of Half Moon Street. I rushed over there and I saw the two dead bodies on the ground. When I reached Whitechapel Street, I saw Leighton Chapman. He'd been caught by two police constables.
Did you hear the shots?
I didn't hear any shots. The fireworks were all over the sky. They were so loud I couldn't hear anything else.
What were the fireworks in honour of, Constable?
Well, today's Queen Victoria's birthday, Mr. Holmes.
Yes, I appear to have lost track of the days. It is May now, of course. Constable Marrow, what else caught your attention while you were running through Half Moon Street?
I saw nothing but rats, and I took the time to light every corner with my lamp.
Did you happen to look up at Mr. Turner's window when you were on Half Moon Street at that time?
Yes, I saw that the window was open, but no one was there. It was dark in the room.
Constable, your statements have been of great value to me.
Okay, we'll start with Vercotti. He was gut shot and died here.
He tried to stop the bleeding with his hand. Death was not instant.
No kidding. Even in this day and age, that would take quite a long time.
The bullet penetrated his stomach, a dreadful wound.
He'd be dying of sepsis. I don't even see that much blood loss.
A tattoo from Westgate Prison. Vercotti must have done some time there.
Damn it, stop.
Brian Vercotti suffered greatly. What a terrible way to die.
He's shot in the head.
A piece of wood that has stuck between the cobblestones. Let us take a closer look.
A peg leg?
This shard of wood is quite new. The bullet struck his head. This man didn't stand a chance. This is an ordinary key. I wonder what kind of door it opens.
Alright, well they're both standing here. One shot in the head, his body is somewhat... It's not a way for his body to turn. He had to have been standing facing in this direction. He's gut shot here, so he had to have been standing in this direction. So somebody was standing about where the officer is now, pulls out a pistol, bang, and then quickly turns, brings the gun back up, bang, hip fires, basically, right into Vercotti. Where's this window? Okay. Are you Turner?
Good evening, Mr. Turner.
Why did you provide testimony against Chapman when you weren't actually at your window?
At you as Mr. Holmes. Are you that detective gentleman? I've heard of you. And well, I know things about this evening.
Excellent. Might we hear your story? Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
I was already in bed when the fireworks started. A few moments after, I clearly heard 2 gunshots from outside.
Please continue.
I quickly got up and I grabbed a lamp from my nightstand and I rushed towards the window. I looked down and I saw 2 bodies. And there was a man with a gun who was standing nearby.
Where exactly?
Well, near this body.
Did he notice you?
I don't think so. He rushed towards Whitechapel Street without looking around.
Doing analysis here before we continue questioning. I noticed a medal on his vest I wanted to see. So he definitely knows the difference between gunshots and fireworks.
Mr. Turner, did you see anyone else in the street?
No, I saw no one but that man, the murderer, the fellow they caught.
Were the 2 shots you heard consecutive?
Yes, there was a very short pause between them, and they sounded different somehow. It seemed to me that the second shot was louder than the first.
That is an interesting comment.
Okay.
Mr. Turner, what were your actions after you stepped up to the window?
I was afraid that the man with a gun might return, so I stayed close to the window till I saw the policeman coming in the Half Moon from Whitechapel. Then I walked out to tell them everything I saw.
You have helped us a great deal, Mr. Turner.
Okay, and then the flower cellar.
I'll do anything to save my brother, Mr. Holmes.
Does your brother even carry a gun? Is your brother significantly older? Because they keep referring to him as a man.
Mrs. Powell?
What do you want?
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting the police with their investigation of the crime that took place this evening.
Well, I've already gave my testimony, but very well.
Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
Yes. I was selling my flowers as usual, and then the fireworks began, in honour of Queen Victoria. I enjoyed those. But then, all of a sudden, a young lad ran out of Half Moon Street and stopped just by me. He had a gun in his hand. He was like a ghost, and all covered in blood. It was dark, but I could see him, because of the flashes from the fireworks.
And then?
I
No way,
screamed
man.
as loud
No
as
way,
I
man.
could. I knew that a policeman should be on duty in the vicinity. He had no time to escape. 2 constables got him. Then another constable came out from the very same street, and I heard him talking of a horrible murder.
Mrs. Powell, did you hear the gunshots?
I'm not sure. You know, what with the fireworks?
Did you see anyone else leaving Half Moon Street, prior to or at the time of the crime?
No, sir, I did not. Even with all the fireworks, I was very attentive, as I'm always on the lookout for customers.
My thanks to you, Mrs. Powell.
Okay. Let's make some connections here. Alright. Okay. Turner, I need to come in.
Mr. Turner, You have stated that you remained close by your window after the crime, is that correct?
Oh, yes, Mr. Holmes. I stayed at my window until the policeman arrived to examine the dead bodies.
That is very interesting, Mr. Turner. Constable Marrow stated that he did not see anyone at the window when he was running through Half Moon Street.
Well, I think Constable Marrow and me, we might have been distracted by the whistles and shouts coming from Whitechapel. We could have missed each other somehow. You understand what I mean? It was a bit of a stressful moment, to tell you the truth, sir.
Allow me to form my own theories, Mr. Turner. Would you mind showing me the view that you had from your window?
Not at all, Mr. Holmes. Please, follow me.
Mr. Turner appears to live very modestly. This fire is dying out. It was last tended to over an hour ago. The papers are almost entirely burned. I am unable to see what's written here. These words are illegible. The papers were thrown into the fire just a short while ago.
Okay. Just gonna wander around your bedroom, I guess.
Mr. Turner was roused from his bed by the sound of gunshots. The books on this shelf are in a mess. It looks as though Mr. Turner was trying to find something in a hurry here a short while ago.
Huh.
A perfect match. So, Mr. Turner broke his stick when it became stuck between the cobblestones. He did not mention that he was so near to the victims. This kitchen knife is quite sharp. There are pieces of shredded paper scattered over the table. This kitchen knife was used to cut the paper.
What could he possibly have been destroying?
So, that's the view Mr. Turner had when he opened the window. The dead body of Kenneth Butler. Brian Vercotti's contorted corpse. Mr. Turner had a perfect view of the crime scene. He saw the bodies clearly, and Leighton Chapman standing over them.
I mean, you certainly had an angle on Vercotti, if that's what we're getting to here.
Anything else you would like to know, Mr. Holmes?
But if that's the case, then where's the firearm and... Alright, first he's roused from bed. He's got his walking stick at that point, it seems. Then he comes to the window. Sees what happened. Then puts the stick down. Cuts the thing, whatever. Oh, there's a thing down here. Then he approaches the body. Breaks his stick. for some reason, destroys something. I don't know why. Alright, let's fast forward this. And then immediately he's like, I gotta destroy this. I don't know why.
So Mr. Turner used a book to hide an object that he found on Kenneth Butler's body. The question is, what did he find?
Oh, I see. He robbed him. Alright. Books. Fat prints.
I can see prints from greasy fingers upon the cover of this book. Let us take a closer look.
Why would his fingerprints be greasy? He was sleeping. Moby Dick.
Well now, what a find! A precious jewel, concealed inside a book. A bracelet with a unique ram's head design, a distinctive feature of ancient Grecian artifacts, probably of the Hellenistic era.
Okay. Why did you do that?
Mr. Turner, how would it be possible for a man of advanced years, such as yourself, to rush from his bed to the window in a matter of seconds, as you have stated?
Well, I'm able to move very quickly, despite my age. And when the situation requires it, Mr. Holmes.
I highly doubt that, Mr. Turner. I observe that you suffer a severe limp due to your injured right leg. It would have taken at least 10 seconds for you to approach the window. That means you could have easily missed something or someone in Half Moon Street during that time.
You're right, Mr. Holmes. I could have missed something. But it did seem to me that everything happened so quickly. Oh, time can pull tricks on you.
And what of everything else that you told us? Mr. Turner, it is vital that we have your complete and true statement.
Mr. Holmes, I do assure you that the other things I said were most sincere.
Mr. Turner, you were not sincere with me. Not then and not now.
But Mr. Holmes...
This, Mr. Turner, does not look like anything that a poor man might possess. It is worth more than the home that you live in.
I can explain.
No, merely correct me if I am wrong. You saw Leighton Chapman through the window, but you also noticed a glittering object on the ground, this precious jewel. You walked down and took the bracelet from the body of Kenneth Butler, and when you heard the whistles, you hurried away. That broke your walking stick. It caught fast between the cobbles. Constable Marrow was unable to see you in the window as you were climbing up the stairs on your way back to your flat. Upon returning home, you hid the precious jewel inside a book.
Mr. Holmes, please don't send me to prison. I didn't do anything bad. I'm just a poor man. When I chanced upon the bracelet, I saw it as an opportunity to make a little money. I was desperate. I only took the bracelet, that's all, I swear.
You made a mistake by lying to me. But you are not a criminal. I believe that. Although I must return this bracelet to its rightful owner.
Okay, so is this bracelet then motive for the murder, or what? Wiggins, you seen this bracelet
I'll
before?
do anything to save my brother, Mr. Holmes.
You have nothing to say. Okay. I have to do research. Scotland Yard or research? That's what it is. Let's do research first. Let's vote. There from the last case. Sensation, an exotic method of murder. The arsenal of our present-day criminals may soon be refilled with poisonous plants. A young and beautiful woman, in collaboration with her colleague at Kew Gardens, planned the terrible murder of their director, Mr. Montague Dunn. Only one detective was capable of uncovering the truth behind the tragedy, and that was initially believed to be a simple heart attack. That detective's name was Sherlock Holmes. Antique art. These beautiful antique jewels represent a part of Hellenistic treasures collection. Depicted are the 5 heads of mountain rams upon a... 5 heads. Oh. Bracelet, necklace, and ring, each made of pure gold. The 5 rams of Mytilene have been missing from the museum since 1885.
Here it is.
Now I need to do a
I
newspaper
need to
research.
continue my research in my
Yeah,
archives.
in 1885. Gotcha. And 1885. Hellenistic treasures stolen. The Hellenistic treasures were stolen yesterday evening when being transported by cab on their way from the British Museum to the Glasford Fine Art Exhibition. Pawn shop owner Kenneth Butler contacted Scotland Yard that night and provided information regarding a gentleman who had attempted to sell him a collection of historical art at his pawn shop in Church Street. So Kenneth Butler was involved in that. That was 10 years ago at this point. The police have since captured the described man, a professional thief by the name of Vincent Foley, who had been in the process of escaping London via the port. He was recognized by the surviving driver of the cab that had transported the collection of Hellenistic treasures. Vincent Foley refused to confess as to where the remainder of the treasures were hidden. He was eventually imprisoned. The lost treasures are still yet to be found.
Here it is. One of the victims, Kenneth Butler, was involved in the story of the stolen Hellenistic treasures. A visit to his pawn shop should tell me more.
So either Kenneth Butler was involved and is now trying to sell the treasures, or was trying to recover them by buying them back off the black market. We could go interrogate, but yes, let's go to the pawn shop first. The more information we have prior to the interrogation is most likely best. We'll avoid us having to backtrack back and forth to Scotland Yard when we find new information. So. You just gonna wait out there, Watson? Okay. Balance point. Crocker? You look like a guy I used to know named Crocker, except he didn't have a gray beard. Can I come in? No. They look like they're having a good time, though. Butler's pawn shop. This is probably where the key goes.
Mr. Butler's key matches the lock perfectly.
It's almost like they were made for each other.
Crampons and a sharp ice axe would only be brought here by a mountaineer.
Oh, I thought there was more to do with it, but we're just not there yet. Okay.
A flare pistol. Perhaps it was pawned by a destitute sailor.
Uh-huh. Piece number 2.
The ram's heads. This necklace belongs to the 5 rams of Mytilene collection. Interesting. That means that Kenneth Butler owned a part of this collection all this time, 10 years after the theft.
But again, was he involved in the theft, or has he been collecting the pieces? Hello, Kenneth. I remember you once told me about 3 pieces of golden jewelry with ram's heads from ancient Greece. You still got them, right? Well, good news for you. I found a man loaded with money who's crazy about those jewels. He's ready to fork out a small fortune. I can arrange a meeting with this money bag for you, but I want you to cut me in on the deal. I'll be waiting for you at the crossing of Great Alley and Half Moon Street on Sunday evening before the fireworks, and then there's the other victim's name.
It looks as though Mr. Butler kept a careful record of his operations.
Okay. Anything else? Is that it? All right. That is a burglary motive. Okay, that's it for now, I guess. Alright, now I guess we're moving on to interrogation because we got nothing else.
Mr. Holmes, whatever brings you here so late at night?
I'm interested in the case of young Leighton Chapman. He was arrested earlier this evening and accused of a double murder.
I beg your pardon? That case is quite clear to the police. Or are there any new facts that we don't know about?
Who knows, Inspector?
Look, you are free to investigate, of course, Mr. Holmes. Chapman was arrested with a revolver in his possession, which you can find in the evidence room. The suspect himself is in custody.
Did you find anything else on his person?
A few personal belongings. Nothing particular, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Lestrade.
Okay.
These cigarettes are filled with cheap tobacco. Nothing interesting.
An apple.
A cheap watch. Bought with his own money, no doubt. So this is the gun that Leighton was holding when he was caught by the police. It is a Webley revolver, a reliable weapon.
Okay.
It seems as though the shells were not removed from the cylinder.
So break it open. What in the hell is this design? That is not how that works. This is also not how expended cartridges work.
2 out of the 6 shells have been fired. There were 2 shots.
Okay. So either way, he could hear the contrast. In one case, they were made on different points, and another one, it was too... Okay, I'm gonna go with this one for now, because... I guess... That's all we got for now. Oh, Leighton. A word, please.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Good evening, Mr. Chapman.
Who are you? I've got nothing to say. It's all a mistake.
Calm down, Leighton. I have come here to help you. To find out if you truly are innocent, as your younger brother Wiggins has told me.
My brother? You know him? Then that means you're...
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, blimey. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell you everything.
Let's start with that scar. Where'd you get that from? That is more than an occasional fight kind of a scar. That is a you lost a fight and they wanted to make sure you didn't forget it kind of a scar. Also somebody beat the shit out of you. Same as Brian, the other victim.
Good. Tell me your account of what happened.
I left my work and I hurried up to see the fireworks in Whitechapel. I was late, so I decided to cut through Half Moon Street. I saw the first fireworks light up in the sky. I bumped into a constable on a corner before entering Half Moon. Then suddenly, what with all the firework flare, I saw two men. They were both lying flat in the middle of the street. I stopped where I was. I thought about turning back to the police, but as I was thinking of that, I saw a third person. He was leaning over the body that was furthest from me. The second I saw him, he raised his head and he stared at me. In a flash, I saw his gun, but he made a dash for it instead and he escaped through Whitechapel Street.
So you might still have had time to return to the constable.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, I approached the bodies just to see if they were still alive. I saw that one had blood pumping out of his stomach. He was dying. It was horrible. The second one was already dead. He had a hole in his head. He was holding a gun in his hand though. I took it, and then I followed the third man.
Interesting. Pray, continue.
I turned a corner, and I saw the man standing in the middle of the street. He seemed to be in some sort of panic. And then, Mr. Holmes, something strange happened. I told the police and they laughed at what I said, but I swear to you, my words are true. I started running towards him. But then I was blinded by a flash. It was so bright that I hardly saw anything for a good dozen seconds. But I kept running forward. As I arrived in Whitechapel, I heard a woman screaming. And then I was caught by the police. But there wasn't a trace of that man. Of course, then they found a gun and all that blood. I couldn't see the murderer escaping and all that mess. Perhaps I was still half-blinded at that moment.
A thrilling account, my young man. Leighton, are you able to describe the person whom you saw standing in Half Moon Street?
Well, I wasn't able to see his face at all. It was too dark, and he was too far away. I could see his silhouette.
And what about that?
Nothing so special. He was wearing a jacket. He was quite average in size and his weight.
I see. Was there anything else that struck you at the time?
No. But perhaps... It's strange, but I can't remember the sound of his footsteps as he was running away. Perhaps it was because of the fireworks or the surprise of me seeing him.
Leighton, I confess I am puzzled. Why should a young lad like you take a gun from the hands of a dead man and set off in pursuit of a probable killer?
I know. I keep wondering that, but at the time it was like a reflex. A criminal ought to be arrested, and he was armed.
You were willing to risk your life. That was a little foolish, unless you wanted revenge.
No, Mr. Holmes. I was just being brave and stupid.
I don't think so.
I'm sure that you were, but I believe that you may have recognized one of the victims, Brian Vercotti. You knew that gentleman well, did you not?
However could you know that?
You have a typical tattoo of the Westgate Brotherhood upon your hand. I observed exactly the same mark upon Mr. Vercotti. You came to know him from your sharing a past prison sentence. Am I correct, Mr. Chapman?
God. You're right, Mr. Holmes.
Would you tell me a little about Brian Vercotti?
We were convicted for a robbery. Once in prison, both of us joined one of these fraternities. During that year, we tried to help each other out, you know?
You were quite young then, I believe.
Yes, Mr. Holmes, we were. We'd only stolen a pound of meat. After we were released and when I saw what my little brother had become, I decided to work towards living an honest life.
And Vercotti?
He had a hard time. His sister had died in a Whitechapel dispensary while he was in prison. He had no family anymore. Our paths split. He fell back into crime.
So you lost him?
Yes. And for around 2 years, I heard no news of him at all.
We shall see you soon, young man.
Okay. Robbery. Layton's guilty. Have the acquaintance statements, no? Alternatively, I think it's the burglary. Although they didn't actually steal the bracelet. So he's still guilty in either case. And that's all we got for now. But what's our next lead here? There's still one person I haven't met yet. Okay, then I guess we have to do this, and if we go from... It's guilty in either case. If we do simultaneous shots, though... Did I just see a new clue pop up here? There was a possible crossfire between Kenneth Butler and Brian Vercotti at Hampton should examine the dead bodies.
What's up with you, lad? What are you waiting for?
I'm waiting for my brother to be released.
Your brother?
The one that you caught, beat up and imprisoned.
Ah, the murderer.
He ain't killed no one, copper.
Watch your mouth, lad, else you'll be joining that worthless brother of yours.
Rude. Alright. Here we have the... Well, we know that he had the gun. Why? I mean, we know he fired 2 shots.
I am unable to see any higher. I need to find something to lift my lamp.
Okay.
I am unable to see any higher. I need to find something to lift my lamp.
So from Layton's description, he said that one of them had a gun and the other one was gushing blood from his gut. So that means that he has. But if he did indeed have another gun, then where did that one go? All right, something to lift my lamp.
This should be useful. This is most definitely a bullet hole. The brick cracks are fresh. Watson, there was a third shot fired in this street.
Okay. So then we chased him out this way. They said there was a flash.
Constable Marrow, I would value your assistance in this investigation.
It would be my pleasure, Mr. Holmes.
I would like to make sure that there are no places in Half Moon Street where a man could hide while you were running through it with your lamp.
All right, Mr. Holmes, what should I do?
Take your lamp and start walking, just as you did before, and try to find me.
Understood. I can see you very well, Mr. Holmes.
All right, Constable. Let's try again. I'll find another place to hide.
Here you are, Mr. Holmes.
All right, Constable. Let's try again. I'll find another place to hide.
Okay, that was the worst one yet.
Mr. Holmes, it wasn't difficult to find you at all.
It is obvious now. No one could escape Constable Marrow's lamp while hiding in the street.
Okay. Let us reenact the action and recreate the fireworks as well. Okay.
It would be my pleasure to assist you with your investigation, Mr. Holmes.
What am I supposed to do now? Flare gun. I have to go all the way back to the pawn shop. We gotta stretch out that playtime, I guess. The dude. Climbing gear.
These tools are exactly what I need to climb the wall.
Flare gun.
This is exactly what we need in order to imitate the flash of the fireworks.
So, Okay, then back to Half Moon Streets. Alright, Marrow, I have another job for you. I need you to stand there while I fire flares at you.
Why are you looking at me all the time like that?
I'm just watching you, lad. I never know what to expect from people like you.
People like me?
What does that mean?
Yes, street beggars and thieves.
I ain't a thief.
Oh no? Then where did you get whatever it is that you're gnawing on? I very much doubt that you bought it.
What ain't seen can't hardly be stolen.
Okay.
Constable Marrow, Watson, I would like to perform another kind of reenactment with your help.
I'm listening, Mr. Holmes.
I want to check if Leighton's testimony can be trusted. If someone could vanish into thin air at a specific moment.
But Holmes, I don't see how.
I am going to be the mysterious gentleman whom Leighton followed. I will stand exactly where he saw him before he was blinded by the flash. Watson, you will be Leighton. When I fire the signal flare, you should start to chase me.
I understand, Holmes.
You, Constable Marrow, just play your part and do exactly as you did. Just, please, wait 5 seconds after the signal flare. I doubt that Polly Powell would have screamed any earlier.
As you say, Mr. Holmes.
Let us begin then. Catch me if you can. This wall is cast in shadow. It would be difficult to see anyone scaling it.
I can barely see anything. Holmes? Are you there?
I should try climbing faster.
What the hell? D. Click, 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 click. A. Click, 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 click. B.
I can barely see anything. Holmes? Are you there? Where is he? My God, a man can't just disappear like that. Holmes? Holmes? Where are you?
I cannot see you, Mr. Holmes. Dr. Watson, it seems that Mr. Holmes has disappeared.
Don't worry, gentlemen, I am up here, above your heads.
How on earth did you get up there, Holmes?
I am using crampons and a climbing axe, although the person we are looking for did not leave any traces of such tools. Constable, is there any way to get to the top of this building?
Yes, Mr. Holmes, I can show you. The door to the building can be found from Whitechapel Street.
Gentlemen, I am on my way down.
Okay. So over here.
These shards of glass are from the window above.
Jacket. Shabby fabric. Black threads.
A cluster of thick black threads. They're unusually strong. I should examine them under the microscope. It's empty. Someone broke through the window to get inside the attic, but in his haste he ripped his jacket. We can conclude that the person whom Leighton saw climbed up the wall, broke into the attic window, and escaped through the hatch.
Okay. I think we're going towards Leighton not being responsible here. We have every clue is mutually exclusive. Okay. What are we meant to do now, then? No, right, analysis. Back to Baker Street, then, I guess. Black threads.
Let us take a closer look. It is not a thread, but a hair. I very much doubt that it is human. I need to compare this sample with a human hair and a horse hair. A shaving brush is usually made from horsehair. Watson, could you please pass me your shaving brush?
Shaving brushes are actually normally made out of boar's hair.
Watson, look, what's outside the window?
Well, I don't see anything. Ouch! Holmes!
Oh, don't make such a fuss. One little hair.
Okay.
Human hair is significantly thinner than the black sample.
Boar's hair or badger hair is usually what they're made out of.
The horse hair is thinner than the hair that we found. So, this black hair belongs to an animal, and it is larger than a horse. A hair from a large and exotic animal.
An elephant. Toby.
Hello, Toby. All you need now is a shawl and a mop cap, and you could be Mrs. Hudson's younger sister.
I got an achievement? What was my achievement? What was it for? For petting Toby?
Hello, Toby. All you need now...
A monkey. Wall climber. The man who vanished this circus acrobat managed to get through in a matter of seconds. Sure, why not? Sure, why not? Okay. Apparently I have to make some connections here. I have to start making this make sense, okay? So if it was a circus acrobat, then what? Was it double murder? Oh. I believe that Butler shot Vercotti, but who shot Butler? What is mutually exclusive about this bird? Now everything suddenly makes sense. Okay. The person who escaped the crime scene by climbing the wall. He was a skillful. Took a gun to one of the dead bodies. Wiggins' assistants. Okay, can I call on back to go back yet?
Wiggins is currently at Half Moon Street.
Oh my god, so I gotta go through another loading screen. Oh, of course I do. Oh, Wiggins. Again with this?
Wiggins, my lad, what are you doing here? You'd best be leaving and be quick about it.
I've done nothing wrong. You'd learn more by watching Mr. Holmes. He knows exactly what he's doing. Not like you.
Oi, watch your tongue.
Okay.
Mr. Holmes?
We have good news for you, Wiggins. The investigation has proven very interesting so far. We found facts and details that confirm your brother's innocence.
I knew it, Mr. Holmes.
But for now, Wiggins, we need your help.
Anything you like, Gov.
I need you to locate a circus that has stopped over in London. It needs to have disposed of at least one exotic animal, a very large one.
You can count on me, Mr. Holmes.
Disposed? How did we get to dead exotic animal from jacket with hair on it? Okay.
I do hope that those children don't get into trouble, Holmes.
Don't worry, Watson. I predict some news in 7 seconds.
Mr. Holmes, we found it. Here it is.
And this is a young Indian elephant, the highlight of the show. Duval Brothers, a well-known travelling circus that is currently stopped in London. I believe that is exactly the type of circus we are looking for. I'll pay it a visit.
Okay.
Aye, you! Stop right there.
Good morning, sir. Pardon me, but why am I not allowed to walk around here?
Because it's private.
Well, I only wanted to meet the artistes.
You're wanting to apply for... Nah, you don't look like the type of artistic lockpicker that we're looking for.
You might be surprised.
What? Nah, I don't think so. Clear off.
Okay. So can I impress him with my Giovanni Miletti? Can I impress him with my lockpicking skills?
You're a bit slow to catch... You're a bit slow to catch on, eh?
Okay. Oh my god, what's that?
You're a bit slow to catch on, eh?
Okay. Facial hair. So I have to go back to Baker Street to put on a disguise? Are you goddamn kidding me? Oh, could have given me stretch out that playtime. Does it matter which one I pick? doors. What did it say?
Stay where you are. What are you doing here, and where is Sherlock Holmes?
Calm down, Watson. Take deep breaths now. It's me.
Oh, thank God, Holmes. I can't get used to your disguises.
Thank you, Watson. That means I am ready to go.
Okay. I wonder if it ever occurs to Sherlock that Watson is just humoring him when he does all of those things.
Who are you? What's your name?
My name is Nigel. I'm here to open the locks.
Talented, eh? Let's see. Go inside the marquee and show yourself to Charles Foley. And I'd highly advise you not to trick him. Got that?
I've got it.
Charles Foley. Oh, I thought it was a swastika for a second. Okay, guess there isn't much to see out here.
So, everything is here just as you asked. And what about the money?
Some of the barrels are wet.
Transportation issues, it couldn't be helped.
Whatever. We'll be here after midnight to pick up the supplies.
I want to be paid first.
No. You'll be paid after we make the transfer, as I said.
Right?
I hope that no one saw you. The police are on the lookout.
Of course not. I'm a professional.
Glad to hear it. Be ready for tonight, then.
Okay. Where are in the barrels? I saw it. There we go.
This wooden barrel is damaged. It is difficult to say what is inside. There is a spot on this barrel that was intentionally painted out. The crest of the Honourable Artillery Company. Could it be gunpowder? I need to be sure.
Yep.
Judging by the fractions and the scent, I can confirm that it is, in fact, gunpowder. The barrels are roughly clustered. It seems as though they were brought here in a hurry.
A printing press.
From lambs into lions. Those are words of encouragement and defiance. That's a picture of a contemporary gentleman wearing a Robin Hood hat. Interesting. This poster was clearly made to fire up rebellion amongst the people. There are enough posters to paste across half of London's walls. This printing press is old, but still quite capable of printing hundreds of pages per day. Powder kegs, a printing press, and a great many blank papers. All of this was stolen by the Merry Men quite recently. And these poster samples. I am quite sure it is not a coincidence. The Merry Men are planning some sort of sabotage.
Stop right there. Who are you?
Are you Charles Foley?
Maybe.
They say that I can open any door.
Do they now? We'll see that lock near the chains on the table over there. Open that.
Nice headband, dude. You look like an 80s street tough in a film a la Police Academy. Is that a wound? it is. This lock here. Most likely will be that cut out there. Did it.
I need to find out what's behind this Charles Foley.
I did it. What? I did it. Charles Foley was going to take less. Maybe, I don't think so, but could be. I mean, he did the agility training and so on. Okay. I did it. What do you want?
Oh. Well, they're right. What's your name?
Nigel Shirley, from York.
Ah, Nigel from York. Never heard anything about you. How'd you hear about me?
Thief?
It's a long story. I met your brother, Vincent the Butcher Foley, in prison. He told me all about his betrayal and all about you. Before I was released, he told me that you might find a job for me one day and pay me some money for me craft.
Well, he died 7 days ago in prison.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's all right. The traitor has paid the blood price for it. And you'll do the job anyway, because I need a talented lockpicker. I know just where to search for his legacy.
It's all about the Hellenistic treasures, isn't it?
Osh, you fool. Now, listen up. You'll come with us tonight, and you better mind yourself.
Us? Wait, who's coming then?
Billy, Jack and me.
And what will I get for that?
We'll share the loot. The one you seem to know about.
Right.
Wait for us at the abandoned manor house on the corner of Ladbroke Grove and Kensington Park Road at midnight.
Deal.
I'm sorry. If he was present at the murder, he's not aware of the bracelet or the necklace belonging to Kenneth? How would he not be aware of that? Well, that's all of our profiles. Okay. What is this manor supposed to be about?
Here I am at the manor. Somewhere inside it are the Hellenistic treasures.
Okay, looks pretty run down to me.
This lock is quite old. It shouldn't be much of a challenge.
Right, I'm getting tired of the lockpicking minigame. It was novel at first, but I feel like I'm doing it all the time now. Okay. Both slide back and forth. This one does not.
I need to find where the safe is hidden and lockpick it.
Okay, do I have to? I'm really getting bored of the lockpicking thing. It was fine at first, but it's been the most common minigame throughout this entire game, and I've kind of been doing it over and over and over again now.
This cupboard is an absolute mess. Several books have fallen from the shelves. It seems as though this cupboard can be moved. I'll give it a try. So, that's the lock I must open tonight. Let me see.
Mhm.
What a surprise. Another
Ah.
lock. And I won't be able to pick it. I recall that precious key around Foley's neck. It might prove a decent fit. I suppose they hired me to only open the first lock. Let us wait for the thieves, trap them, and find out. Let us check the thieves' possible escape routes in the event that they are caught off guard by the police from the front door.
Okay.
This door is a perfect means of escape in an emergency. A solid rope. This should be useful. The door is now blocked. The ground floor window is a perfect way to escape the police. This works very well. No one will escape through this window now. There is no ladder. If anyone falls here, he will need assistance to get out. I wonder what this old chandelier is doing on the floor. It looks as though it was poorly attached. I suppose that the thieves already tried to open the lock with this formidable hammer, but they were unsuccessful.
I have rope. Can't I reattach?
I wonder what this old... I wonder...
Okay, apparently I cannot.
Although this window is high above the ground, it would be possible for one of the thieves to attempt to use it for their escape. This should be useful.
Okay, apparently we're not getting out that way.
One step on these beads, and our thief will go flying.
Home
I
Alone
should walk
style.
carefully here, else my plan will be ruined.
Home Alone style. I did grab that rope, right? Oh, I did not. That's why.
This should be useful.
That explains why.
Now, if anyone takes the hammer, the rope will uncoil and make the chandelier fall.
Okay.
Any thief who finds his way upstairs will roll down very quickly. If he runs through the dining room and takes a sledgehammer to force open the door, the chandelier will knock him down.
Okay. Oh. You can still jump over this? Is that what we're worried about?
This door is a perfect means of escape in an emergency.
Item required.
This hatch leads to a cellar.
What item?
This hatch leads to...
What item? Something to prevent him from jumping over. Oh, another carpet.
This should be useful.
We're going to lay this in the way so he trips over it. Now no one knows that
It's
there's
not
a hole
an open
here.
hatch, just a nice carpet on the floor. I should walk carefully here, else my plan will be ruined. Now, if a thief runs through the kitchen, he'll pay a surprise visit to the cellar. The traps for my circus companions are all prepared. I can leave now, but I'll return later with Charles Foley and his companions.
Police! Police!
Stop where you are!
Where are they?
Trapped, Watson, with your assistance.
How so?
You sounded just like a real Bobby, my dear fellow. You startled them into the traps.
I did?
I assure you, Watson, it was quite an entertaining show. They will not escape the house now.
You scum!
And this is the pistol used for the murder in Half Moon Street.
How do you know about that?
Have you closed the case yet, Sherlock?
Mycroft, what are you doing here? Did you follow me?
Sherlock, it may seem that I used you, but you should be pleased to know that you have served our Queen well, in this instance. So now, let us catch the big fish. But this man is not one of the merry men?
No.
Then why exactly are we here, Sherlock?
This gentleman, Charles Foley, has been involved in a double murder, and the hunter of a set of valuable antiques, the Hellenistic treasures, which disappeared in a theft many years ago.
You're no better than the coppers.
Okay.
Holmes, that is incredible. The Hellenistic treasures.
Indeed.
Nothing but trifles. Where are the merry men?
I don't know why you are asking me, Mycroft. They are yours to find.
I'll see you soon, dear brother.
The size of Mycroft's head is just enormous.
What a beauty!
Don't move, you flimflammer.
What a beautiful collection of art. It was thought lost.
It. Okay. Long lost art, precious safe. Charles Foley organized the theft of the Hellenistic treasures, which was related to the double murder at Half Moon Street. Leighton Chapman was a witness to the crime. Imprisoned for organizing a grand theft, since he is not directly guilty of murder, his sentence will be shortened. Charles Foley organized and executed a wicked plan of revenge. With the added theft of the ancient and valuable treasures, he deserves the rope. Is that my only choice, or is there more clues? I feel like this is the most simple and direct of all our cases in this game. Yes, and it's either Foley or it's Leighton, and it's definitely not Leighton, so... Could have been a plan of revenge for what happened to his brother, but he also didn't seem too fond of his brother. I think it was just a theft.
Charles Foley, you were a witness to a double murder. You were standing next to Vercotti when Butler fired at your accomplice. The jeweller missed him, but they proceeded to kill each other with simultaneous shots. Even if your intention was to retrieve the stolen treasure, you did not intend to kill. I shall inform Inspector Lestrade of that fact, so your sentence should be the lighter.
You are a fine gentleman, with your fake pity.
I do what I think is right. It is never due to pity. Farewell, Foley. I shall leave now, Watson. Gentlemen, please take our friends here into custody.
Where are you going?
I have unfinished business. I'll see you at Baker Street.
Okay. So are we doing?
Be careful with the lamps. Don't bring them too close to the barrels.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Who's there?
That is of no importance. What matters is who you are and the plans that you have here.
So you can stop us from carrying them out?
Eventually, yes.
Hey, careful. You'll blow us all up.
I'm listening.
We are a group known as the Merry Men. But I suppose you knew that already. We are the men who've already lost everything of value in their lives. We are ruined shopkeepers. We are workers who were fired from their jobs. Honest people who were robbed. We were forced out from our homes and thrown onto the street. And all of this in the name of the so-called law. The laws that were set out by our government. The laws that make the commoners only more vulnerable and the wealthy more protected. We are not only from the British Empire. Some of us are from the New Lands, America, Australia, and we are many. But men we are still, and we are merry for that we stopped being afraid. For those powers that be had done their best to plant the fear inside our souls, and we accepted it so easily. The fear advised us to keep our heads bowed. It prevented us from fighting. Bankers and politicians, they own our lives, our work, our bread, and they push us to compete between each other, just to see who may serve them better. But in the end, they are the few, so they are weak. They are nothing without their titles. We should not fear them. Our so-called masters should fear us instead. The time has come for our group to stand tall. Our great and many merry men. We are going to blow up the London Stock Exchange. No life shall be lost. But ownerships, debts, and property titles? They shall all be destroyed. They're only papers, after all. So many people will be freed over this night.
That is a radical step to take. What result do you truly expect?
Chaos. But soon people will understand that they are free, and that they don't belong to anyone. They will be able to work for themselves, together, without letting the rulers dictate what to do, and finally justice will arise.
What you are intending to do is a crime. It is not justice.
How do you see justice, then? Kids go to prison for a loaf of dry bread. And how many lords do you see punished for stealing from their people, sending them to their deaths in mines or overseas to fight for land? Our masters wouldn't hear us. So now it's time to sing the song of the merry men. Will you let us do our duty?
I can either put the cigarette out or I can blow them up. Blow us all up, is that what this is? This is my final moral choice. Well, I mean, what they're saying isn't wrong, in my opinion. I think that they do have a point. But there's a major flaw in that, as correct as they are about the systems of oppression and power, particularly in this part of history, in this part of the world, the fact is that their plan hinges on essentially utopia emerging from chaos, and that is not likely to happen. As we have seen in countless examples in history, from chaos essentially comes a period of violence, and then the system is eventually stabilized in some fashion through the whoever essentially can inflict the greatest of violence. The system will be controlled essentially by those that are able to monopolize violence. And one could be said that that is how our very system now emerged, but repeating the same mistakes over and over again is certainly not going to do it. So what he's talking about is much less likely to be a period of chaos followed by utopia, and much more likely to be a period of chaos followed by periods of oppression, and that possibly could last centuries. So I don't think that that is the right call. Although I am sympathetic to their cause and they do have a point, this is not the way to go about it. So
when people fight the order, they are too blind to see the consequences that throw society into chaos. I shall stop your actions, but not you. Run. Now!
So, you're interested in Russian literature now?
Quite, lately.
It is an interesting book. I remember a few lines.
Really? I tried reading it myself, but I had a hard time understanding it.
Yes, Doctor. It's about intelligence. Sherlock, I vaguely recall one of the lines. Sometimes it takes something more than intelligence to act intelligently. There were also a few words along the lines of, pain and suffering are always inevitable for a large intelligence and a deep heart. Tell me, Doctor, does my brother show any signs of pain or suffering?
Not that I know of.
Because you see, Doctor, behind all of his masquerade, my brother does possess a deep heart. So deep that he does not recall where he places his love.
Well, I'm sure that...
His love and his duty that, in the first place, should be directed towards the Empire. For without it, we would be nothing. A country filled with uncivilized men.
And the Empire needs order and discipline. It has no room for chaos.
People who commit crimes, or at the very least intend them, deserve punishment, Sherlock. Without justice, there can be no civilization.
But we serve the truth, not justice.
Your truth, Doctor, that may prove immoral. Allowing people to terrorize London, destabilizing the whole empire.
Terrorize only the powers whom you serve, Mycroft. Not I, not Watson, not Mrs. Hudson, not Wiggins.
Sherlock, the merry men are to be stopped.
Not by me. You created the merry men. Stop them yourself. Only make sure that you don't create 10 more merry men by arresting the one.
Good night, Dr. Watson.
Could not agree with any of that conversation more.
Anything in the post, Watson? Any clients worthy of our attention?
Only a second reminder from Mrs. Hudson about our new neighbour. She urges you to remove your...
Oh, I don't care about that.
Holmes, the lady who will be moving in shortly has requested the use of our spare room to place all of her boxes.
Wait, what? A lady?
A lady? Alright, so we found all the clues and that was the correct solution. Okay. See how we did on the final chart. See if we can get the statistics to come up, rather. Very conscientious. I don't know. Some of the moral choices have been much less than conscientious. But I suppose that is their interpretation of this. Are we going to get the statistics? Doesn't seem like we are. Okay. Let's see if there's an epilogue or something. I'm not sure. I never guessed guilty brotherhood, their crimes or punishments. And we're at the credits. Is this like a brief look at what became of these people, or... Oh, she's haunted by her dead husband, eh? And here's the dig site. That's creepy. The wife from the first case. Looking at the cabin her husband died in. It's a great sequence. This is very haunting. Well, he didn't die. That's Turner. That's the neighbor. Okay. Well, in any event, not bad. That wasn't a bad experience. Crimes and Punishments had some really good scenes, some scenarios. The conclusions, without fail, were always a little iffy, but not too bad. I am going to move on now. It turns out that the Tumblr post that I've been following for the chronological order of the Frogwares games Forgot to include the Hounds of the Baskervilles. So I'm actually going to play that next, which chronologically should have come just before this game, because that takes place in 1889. So that would be between Jack the Ripper and this one. But that's okay. I don't feel too bad about that. We still have... after that, there are like 9 or 10 Frogwares games, so we still have plenty to go through. However, I do have to warn you that the next couple of games, it's going to be a bumpy road, because now we're getting into some of the oldest Frogwares games, and if our experience with Jack the Ripper is any indication, there was quite a bit about the mechanics that they hadn't quite worked out. So, we do have an epilogue, okay? There's nothing gonna... It's just this? I've been waiting for something to happen, but it doesn't seem like something is gonna happen. Okay, we've done a complete 360 and nothing's happening. I think that this is all that's left. Okay. So, thanks for joining me for this one. Stay tuned. We're going to move on. Again, some of the older Frogwares games are coming up. We've got Hounds of the Baskervilles. We've got Silver Earring, Persian Carpet. I believe that the next one after the Baskervilles is Nemesis, which is where we finally get to see where that callback in Chapter 1 for Arsène Lupin comes from. Apparently, he's the Nemesis in that game. So, it's going to be a bumpy road until we get to the last game in the series, which is, I believe, released in 2016, so we might get to see some more of those modern contrivances and mechanics at play. But I guess we get to at least experience the origin of the games over the next couple of series. So take care, have a nice day, we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.